A very happy Christmas from me here to all of my viewers. Thank you so much for being with me through this year. I'm actually recording this on Christmas Eve, but I thought I'd get myself dolled up and celebration, because this is actually going to be going live on Christmas Day. So if you're watching this today, then I salute you for your dedication and support, but I don't expect many people will. But yeah, I really hope that you've had a really good week. I hope that you've opened some wonderful presents this morning as of when you watch this. I will be opening my presents while you're watching this, and we'll reveal any hobby related stuff next week in the New Year's edition of my vlog. So this has been a really good week. I was away at the beginning of the week. I had 5 days away in the UK with family, which was wonderful. And I've come back and hit the ground running again. So there's a fair chunk of content for you to enjoy, and I really hope that you do. Do let me know what you think in the comments below. They just mean so much to me. So yeah, don't be shy. Anything you've got to say to me, positive or negative, it's all very wonderful for me and really does keep me going. So thanks in advance if you do that. And otherwise, I will see you again at the end, and I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Right then, so what we've got to do now is we've got to seal the grass. Yes, indeed. So you take a brush and I'll take a brush, and let me show you what you're doing, and then you can get stuck in. So all we're doing here is we're going on, look, watch, and we're painting it all over here. Okay, so you get some paint on your brush, some glue on your brush, and just start painting it all over the green. That's it. You know, you need to brush it on. Actually, use this brush, it's a bit easier for you. This brush is a bit softer. Be gentle with it, don't be too rough. So yeah, and what this is going to do is it's going to make sure that our nice flock doesn't all fall off while you're playing with it. Okay. You got a sniffle.
Yes, because that was...
Because you were crying, weren't you? Yeah, you were naughty. Right, so keep going. Just paint it over nice and thick, like this. And I'll start doing outside.
The show was there. The show was there.
Yeah?
So that was there today.
Yeah, well that's good.
Yeah. So that.
That's an old friend of yours, isn't it?
Yes, our old friend.
That's very good to hear.
Adeline wasn't here today. She's still sick.
That's a shame.
Yeah. That's a shame.
Right, I think we're done, are we? Let me have a look around this side. Very good. Right, one more thing to do. Hop down, because I need to turn the whole thing round very quickly.
Okay.
Right here.
Oh, good. I love it.
So up you stand.
I love it. Like that.
And let's just do this. Get a little bit. That's it. Quick. That's it. Oh. It's okay. Go on then. Right, hold it upright, love, not flat. Upright, like this.
I did it like this.
No, you're holding it very flat. Hold it upright.
I am holding it.
No, you're not holding it upright. I'm watching you. You're not holding. That's upright. So hold it upright. That's it, like that. That's it. Perfect. There we are. Very good. Last little bits. There we are. Do the last little bits, and then we are finished.
I am.
No, don't need more glue. All done. Very good. Right, no more glue needed. We did it. Good girl. Right.
I found some.
Right, Ruru.
Yeah.
Are you going to say bye-bye to the camera?
Bye-bye, Silverly.
Well, I'm back from my trip, and yeah, it was a really good time. And while I was away, a couple of things. One, my SBG magazines had been delivered to my mum. I'd forgotten about those. So that was cool. So I've got some really good reading to do there. And then I went past Element Gains and picked up Bayon on Bear and Bolg Castan of Mount Gundabad. So Bolg is going to be for my Ardacon army. I'm going to be taking lots and lots of warbats, and he is going to be my leader. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And Bayon on Bear, I'm actually going to do an idea that I've had for a little while. So at the end of the Battle of the Five Armies, my favourite part of that film is when Bayon rides the eagle in and drops out of the sky on top of the Gundabad orcs. So I've wanted to do a Bayon on eagle for a while. So I'm going to be converting that, and that brings me to something I want to say. I'm actually thinking I might I'm going to try and find Radagast on eagle. So if any of you guys have that or see someone selling a Radagast on eagle, let me know, please, because I'll probably pick that up, because then I can do quite a fun little army. Radagast and Bayon could be quite good for doubles or for Chaos Armada or something like that of one of the games. So anyway, so those are you'll see these come as a project at some point soon, because I'm going to have to get them painted up for the next summer. But yeah, it was a great weekend, and it's always nice to come back with some a few bits of fun stuff. So yeah, there we are. So this actually arrived before I went away, but I didn't have time to open it. And this is my Cricut, I don't know. So let's get this open. A box inside a box. So what have I got here? This is a freebie. They sent me a desk organizer. Okay. And I added this actually came as part of the pack. So this is the Smart Materials Supply Bundle for use with the Cricut Maker 3, which is what I got. So we've got some sticker cardstock, transfer tape, some vinyl, iron-on stuff, some knives and pallets and scissors and stuff. So we'll get into that in a minute. And then this box inside here is the actual Cricut Maker 3. Oh! That's actually quite heavy. So that's the Cricut Maker 3. So I'll also get into that in a minute. And then I also ordered, that's long. I also ordered some cardstock as well. So yeah, that's what's in the box as it arrived. Let's have a quick look and open up the actual box and have a look at it. Oh, that all fell off my chair. Never mind, it was only the paper. I'll have a look at what's inside the actual box. So I'll get scissors and get it open, and then I'll show you what there is. So it wasn't a box inside a box, it was a box inside a box inside a box. So this is heavy enough, I can tell you. It's a solid old piece of kit. So we'll take that box out of that box, having taken the first box out of the other box. Let's have a look, see. So I'll just do a very quick show and tell of this, and I'll probably do a longer video at some point in the future. But this is just to show you what it looks like, what it comes with. And as I say, I'll go into detail in another video. So this is the getting started stuff, safety instructions, warranty, and a bit of vinyl to practice on, I presume. So we'll get into that when I do the how it works thing. A little bit of cardboard, some more funky cardboard shapes. As a crafter, you look at this and you go, I could do something awesome with that. You know what you could, couldn't you? So that might go into the roof for future kind of craziness. We have some more stuff down the back. Some more material that you can use. Oh, and that's that's the cutting mat, I think. So that's what it actually cuts on top of. From what I know about how this works. And then here, is the machine. As you can see, it's quite big, and I can tell you right now it is quite heavy. Inside we have some power, so I have a UK plug and the European plug, so that's quite cool. It comes with both, and you've also got a USB cable. So that's what's in the box. Oh, put that down now. There we are. So I will go into detail in another video. I'm not going to do that part of this vlog. I'll do it as a separate video, show you how I set it up and my first experiences. But yeah, pretty pleased to have it. The plan for this is to use on the model railway, so that video might actually end up coming out on the new channel. Not sure, depends how that goes, because this has really been bought for the model railway. But yeah, cool. Happy to have received it. I wished I could have unboxed it before I went away, but just didn't get time. So there it is. So what I need to do now, this is basically all dried, but there is some still a bit loose. A lot of it's stuck. It's stuck really well actually, funny enough. Is I've got my little hand hoover here. It's going to make a real load of noise, so I won't film it. But basically we're just going to hoover over the whole of this and get this so there's nothing left. The other way you could do this, I suppose, if you don't have a hand hoover, is turn it over and give it a good bash. Like that. And you'll see just how much has fallen off that. It's quite a lot. It looks quite a lot, but it hasn't actually affected how the coverage is on here. So yeah, so I might actually try and save that. I have just swept up this bench, and then what I'll probably do is just run the vac over to get the last of it off. But that's quite a lot to waste, isn't it? So yeah, I'm glad I did that a slightly different way than just hoovering it. What a lot of people do, you'll see people like Luke Tower, and they put a pair of stockings or tights, whatever you want to call them, over the end of their hoover, and that allows them to vac it off and also to collect what's actually removed. But I don't have any tights because, yeah, it's not something we have about here, so I can't do that, unfortunately. So there we are. So I'll put that in the pot. That's a much better solution, and continue. I just want to make sure that there's not going to be any of this static grass kind of falling off accidentally. You want to, because it does get absolutely everywhere. But yeah, that's a lot that's come off there. That's superb. Good. Right, onwards. Next step after this is going to be to mark out where the dinosaurs are going to go. So I'll bring you back when I get to that, which won't be very long now. And yeah, we need to crack on with this. I'm back from my break, and I need to finish this obviously by the end of the year. So yeah, we shall see how the rest of this build goes. Let's get on with it. Well, I've just kind of roughly mocked out where I want everything to go, and I'm actually really pleased with how that's looking. So you've got the entrance here, and then with the two Diplodocuses, or Diplodocus, or however you want to pronounce it. Then we're going to have T-Rex right at the entrance. They don't stand up very well, so they're definitely going to be glued in. And then here we've got the the name's gone from me, but the famous ones, the little ones. And then we've got Parasaurolophus and the bird and the water. And then I'm going to have the big bird, probably sitting on something, maybe get a stick and sitting on there so that you'll be walking underneath the birds at the back. And then we've got whatever that one's called. I'm forgetting the names. I've got them written down, but I haven't got them in front of me. And then Ankylosaurus, and then some more of the carnivores here, and then of course we've got Triceratops and Stegosaurus. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the process of sticking these in place, gluing them down. It's going to take a little while because I'm going to need to make sure that they actually stick in the place I want. For example, you can see here I want to have the front foot up, so we're actually going to need to kind of wedge it in place. But I'll go around and stick these in. I'm going to glue the Mosasaurus into the water area and then do the water effects afterwards. And the only other thing to say is that when these are standing up, there are going to be gaps between them, and I'll put trees and other bits and pieces in there just to make it a bit more interesting. Put some bushes and what have you in there. But that basically is what it's going to look like, and I'm really pleased with that. I'm really looking forward to getting this on the layout when I get to that stage. But just the fact that it's looking so cool is really fun for me. So I'm going to glue it down using PVA. So I've got myself some PVA here, and this is obviously not going to be massively secure, However, it's going to be plenty secure enough for something which goes on a model railway and doesn't get touched. So Rosie will have to be informed that she is only allowed to bop these and not allowed to actually touch them. So I'm going to need to support that. So what I'll do is I'll grab myself one of my little uprights, and that will allow me to leave that one in place. So I'll let that dry, and I'll do the same with this, which is the baby. I'm very pleased with how my little how well these have come out, with the fact that that is actually the same kit as that, and I just kind of hacked it up with a hacksaw. So anyway, so I'm going to get on with that. I'll get them all glued in place, just like I've said. Once I've done that, and I'm starting to do the more advanced stuff, like putting the water in here and doing the trees, I'll bring you back when I get to that stage. But I'm just going to work through this. I might put the camera on and put some music on while I'm doing it a bit later. But yeah, I'm just going to get all these situated. I'll bring you back when I get to the next step. But yeah, this is coming to the end now, which is really cool. I also am going to do a little banner which I might hang between the two necks, which will just say "Welcome to the Lost World." So I'll show you how I do that as well. So this is glued down really nicely and solidly. It's actually been a week or more since I looked at this because I went away. So what I'm going to do now is going to mask off the base, because I really don't want to get dirty fingerprints all over this. So I've just got some wide masking tape. I'm literally just going to come along and put it all the way across all of the base, and then around the bottom of the tree I'll do something a little bit more careful, so I won't just like mask wildly, and this tape isn't very good, it keeps splitting. Yeah, and I'll mask around the bottom of the tree so as to basically pick out this area like this. And then I'll come in with the clay. So I'm going to stop filming this bit because basically I'm just getting annoyed with the masking tape, keeping on splitting, which isn't helping me at all. So yeah, I'll get this all masked off, and I'll bring you back when I'm about to start masking around the base of the tree and show you how I do that. So yeah, shouldn't take me too long, but yeah, back in a minute. As soon as I turn the camera on, the tape stops split. Turn the camera off, the tape stopped splitting. So, typical. So what I'm going to do now, like I say, is I'm just going to come in with some smaller bits of masking tape around the bottom of the tree, because this is the area where I really don't want to get any clay on the wood. Now I will be coming in with a little bit of soil effect and grass and what have you around the base of this, so I will be doing that, but I still don't want to really get too much. I want to control where the clay is going, which is what this process is all about. So quite simple, as you can see. Masking tape is awesome. And once I've done this, then what I'll do is I'll dig out my clay and we'll start building up how the tree looks. So yeah, I am actually thinking about putting some more branches on this as well, so that may end up coming first, but I did want to do this anyway. It's been on my mind for a few days to get stuck into this. So yeah, there it is, nicely masked up. Right, now to decide, am I going to add some more branches, which I think I'm going to do. I'm just thinking about adding another one coming off here, or am I not going to worry about it? I'm going to stare at it for 5 minutes, make a decision, and you'll find out very soon what I decide to do, because you'll see. Right then, masked up. I ended up deciding just to twist out these last two, these strands here into some more branches, and to leave it like it is. The main focus of this isn't necessarily so much the tree, although I do of course want it to look good. So it's a while since I've used any clay. I was trying to think of the last project I did that had clay in it, and I actually can't remember. So yeah, so what we've got here is air dry clay from Das, which is pretty much what everyone uses. And what I'm going to do basically, actually a couple of things I need to do. First of all, what I need to do is where it's going to be sticking to because glue is not, clay is not adhesive, it doesn't stick. So you're going to want to, basically, if you're going to be looking at sticking it to wood or anything like that, you're going to want to be putting some PVA glue down. Otherwise it won't actually adhere and it can easily lift off. So we're just going to drop some of this in and spread it around. I'll just use my fingers to spread it around, and that will give it a bit of grab for that will give it a bit of grab for that. Right, I've just got to go 1 second. Sorry about that interruption. You just almost, not really, but almost witnessed something very, very strange that has not happened in all the time I've been living here for 8 years. The postman just arrived. Seriously, never happened before. So that's just an oddity, but I had to run because I was being yelled at through my window. Anyway, let's get back to this. So what I'm going to do now, as I say, is I'm going to spread some PVA around and then use that to enhance the adhesion of said air dry clay. So with that disruption, I've gone and got myself a brush, which is going to help me, obviously, to apply this. And yeah, so we're just going to get this bit done now. So I'll coat this in PVA. Right, so with the PVA on, I'm going to do the next step, which is I've got a little bit of water here because you do need to keep your fingers a little lubricated when working with clay. And we're going to smoosh it on like so and cover over all of the metal with little bits of clay, which is going to be an incredibly messy process. But the last time I did this to do a tree, which I think was on the Durin's doorway diorama, where I did the 2 holly bushes that grew up next to it, it worked really well. And this is where you can see, look at how filthy it's getting around the bottom. This is where you can see why I've done the masking. But I do need to make sure that I don't get any clay on top of any of the masking, otherwise it will be very difficult for me to remove said masking. So, important thing to note is I have shaped the tree exactly in the shape that I want it to be, because once this is dry, you'll not be shifting it, because the clay obviously dries quite hard. And the other thing is, which I haven't got to hand, which I'm going to have to go and grab, is I am going to need to have myself some tissues to dry my fingers on every now and then, because yeah, you don't want to get too messy doing this. So yeah, I'm just going to crack on with this. I'll put some music on, and if I get to an interesting point I think I need to talk, I'll turn the music off and talk to you. So enjoy. Well, there you are. That was a fun process. I always enjoy working with clay, but I don't use it very often. So what I'm going to do now, let that to dry and leave it good few hours. Just putting in a little bit of texture. If you have like a screwdriver, if you don't have any special tools, you can use that, or you can use a sculpting tool like one of these, and just put some lines and what have you, some interest into the tree, and then when it's dried, these can be brought out really nicely with a bit of dry brushing. So yeah, just look at real trees, you'll see that they are quite often split and gouged. That's the normal shape of or normal texture of a bark on a tree. Just try to get some of that in, and then yeah, can leave it to dry, and then we'll be in the painting stage. So yeah, it didn't take too long, about 20 minutes in total. One thing I was aware of with this particular thing is you need to do it all in one go, really. So I need to make sure that I had time to do it all in one go. I can tell you what, I only just did because I've got to leg it out now. So I almost ran out of time. But yeah, there we are. Just a few bits of interest in that. Let that dry now, and I'll bring you back when I get to the painting. Right, so first of all, Rosie, as we've just been talking about off camera, pretending this is going to be what you can see is just have a rub of that and feel just how well that is dried on, and it will not come off because of all the glue we put on it. So that's done a really good job. So I'm really pleased about that. So what we're doing today is we're going to put the walkways in at the back of the castle. So the first thing I need you to do, don't need a stick for this, just push them through like that. Let's get all of these ones out. Push, there we are, and this, that's it, excellent, and this. No, not there. That's it, and that one. That's it, and the last one. Perfect. So these are the supports. Oh, I went on the floor. I'll pick it up. Don't worry. Hee. These are the supports that are going to hold the walkways. So what we're going to do, watch what I do. We're going to very carefully fold them in half. So can you do that on one of these?
Okay.
Let's fold them in half.
Fold them in half.
Perfect. Look at you. You did it perfectly. So do another one.
Okay.
That's it.
Fold it in half.
Fold it down the centre. That's it. That one wasn't quite so perfect.
No.
Now do this one.
Carefully fold it in. Carefully fold it
Like that.
in half.
I don't bend the little nook in.
Sorry.
That's okay. And now do that one just like that. You see?
Yes.
There we are. Right now. So that's that. So what we're now going to do, and you might find it a bit of a struggle to reach, but see if you can reach. Can you get? No. So take that. Let's do it together. Maybe. Let's do it together. You take this one. Let me show you. No, you need to keep them folded in half. Let me show you how it goes in. You can do the next one. So you push it in like that. It's actually not that easy. There we are. Let's see.
That's a bridge.
There we are. It will be a bridge. Exactly. So you take this one. Do it with me. Let's do it together. You take it as well. Hold it there. And then you come to this. And we slide it in at an angle. It's not very easy, unfortunately. There we are. And push. And you done it. Well done. Perfect.
It's a little bit hard than this. It's a little bit hard and it's hurting me.
Oh, I'm sorry it hurt you, love. Do you want me to do the next one?
Yes.
Okay.
I want to do this bit.
Okay, you fold it for me and pass them to me, and I will slot them in place.
There you go.
Thank you very much. And then we'll have one more of that.
There you go.
Thank you, love. Right, so that's all of our supports for these walkways. There we are. Right, so the next thing to do is if you can take this, and this goes on top of there. Now you can't see very well, so you hold it, and it slots in like this. And then that gets popped out, and it goes like that. Push down, not too hard. That's it. There we are. So that's on there. So now I need to find number 26, and you need to pop that out. So I'll find you the part. Part number 26 is that long one at the top. Can you take that out?
Yes.
There we are. Perfect. And that, well, I'm going to get you some sticks, and or actually, can you push these little slots out in the middle?
I can't do it.
With your little finger. That's it. Perfect. Well done. And the next one. That's it. You see? perfect. That then slots across.
That can go in there if you want.
I did that upside down because I'm an idiot. That goes like that. That's better.
See?
You've got a doorway, haven't you? Oh, you're going to put them in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I can see the carpet with.
Good idea. There we are. And that slots across the top there. Can you see we've got a little walkway?
Yeah.
And it's not very easy, but we're getting there.
I like it to do that.
It's, you can if you want to. Do you want to do that?
No, I say I like to play with it.
You will get to play with it very soon. That's the whole point of this. You've got your little your little figures to play on it, haven't you? We'll paint them up together. I'll probably do that next, I think. This is a bit fiddly.
I'm very good at painting.
You are very good at painting. You're very good at lots of things.
I did painting at school today.
Did you do painting at school today?
Yes.
That's awesome. Can you push that little slot out, please? Very good. Push it again. There we are. Right, that now is going to go here. And that is the walkway done. How about that?
I like another one.
Yeah, there's another one to go. I'm not sure what goes up there. I think I know what goes up there.
A black one.
Let me see if I can find. There it is. The shield goes up there. Oh, I'm making a mess. Right, can you push that one out? No, it's bit. Oh, we got it. Well done. And I think, does that go? Yes, you were very strong. Right, that goes on the outside. So let's turn this around. 1 second. If you duck yourself down. Hop. Rotate. There we go. Sorted. You can stand up now. And this shield.
Cool.
So we bend those 2 tabs in. Like that. That's it. And let them stand up at about 90 degrees. And then if you want to, just can you see where it slots? You slot it in there. And that is the castle done. What do you think of it, Roo? Do you like it?
Oh, it's not.
No, there's a few other bits and pieces to do, but we're not going to do them now. What you can do is you can push all of those little tabs out of that if you want to. You see, just put them all out like that.
I want to put them in there.
Okay, so this is a ladder, and this is going to lean up against the inner walkway, and then we really are done. There we are. How about that? Right. So the next thing we'll do is we'll make these siege engines, but we'll do that another night. The actual castle is complete. You gonna wave goodbye?
Bye-bye.
Ciao, ciao. Well done, Rosie. Really good work. You found some more? Right, she'll keep tidying up and I'll be back with the next step shortly. All the dinosaurs are glued in, and I have also got all of my little figures I've finished painting up. So these are just the people on skateboards and roller skates. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stick them in place going along the path. So there we are. Not going to take very long to do this. There's only 6, I think, of them, but I'm quite pleased with how they look, and it just gives a little bit of life to the diorama, to the display, and particularly when I put this on the railway, it'll be really good to have all of these on there as well. So yeah, so I'm just going to scatter them around. They'll give some scale to the dinosaurs. So I'm going to put them, particularly one here. I want to go going underneath these, underneath the birds, pterodactyls' wings, and then one over here and that. So I've scattered them around. They're not going to be all together. And I've got the one guy here who is going to be holding his skateboard, just kind of as if he's about to flip it or something like that. I think I'm going to do something pretty cool with that. So I'll get my glue in and glue them in, and I'll show you what it'll look like when they've all been stuck in place. Right, so we're going to go for shaky cam to show you off the skateboarders. So I've put a couple here, including the guy who is just flipping his skateboard up. And then just a bit further up this track, we've got the guy here skateboarding underneath the wing. And then just further around the track, we've got another guy there who's on some roller skates. And another guy here on roller skates. And finally, behind the Triceratops, we've got a dude carrying his skateboard. So there we are, those are all put in. I'm going to do some more. I'm not going to have that as the only population of humans on here. I'm going to get a gaggle of school children as well, I think, and I'll probably have those coming in, entering underneath the necks here, and I might put another couple of few people in as well. And then once that's done, then I'll do the trees, and then this will be finished. So yeah, really pleased with how this is coming out, and I think it looks excellent and really epic. So this is now dry. Left it, what, 24 hours or so, maybe a bit more than 24 hours. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to paint watered down PVA all over the trunk. This will just seal it and mean that when I come to paint it, it won't take quite so much paint to do so. So I'm just going to very quickly paint this over, let it dry overnight, and then tomorrow hopefully I will get to come in and paint the wood. I'm going to start with grey, I think, and go from there. That's my plan at the moment. Anyway, so yeah, this is just my normal terrain glue, which is watered down PVA with a little bit of dish soap or washing up liquid, depending on where you are in the world, to make it flow a bit better and also to prevent it from going off in the pot, just an anti kind of bacteria or whatever. So yeah, that's nearly finished already. I will let that dry, like I say, and then it can start to then I can start to paint this up. It's coming on nicely, this project. I'm really pleased with how the trees turned out. It was a lot of fun working with the clay. I don't work with clay very often, so it was a nice change to use a slightly different medium, whatever, slightly different material, being less posh. So yeah, it's always nice to stretch yourself. Well, there we are. That will dry nicely, and it will just seal the clay so that I can paint it tomorrow. All done. So I just filmed a lovely segment about how I'm painting this grey and noticed that the microphone wasn't on, so let's start again. So yeah, so the glue has dried nicely, and I have some dark grey paint, and what I'm going to do is paint it over the whole of this. I've just got a couple of minutes before work now. Trees are more grey than you would realise if you go out in the real world, and you can also see that I've kept the masking on because this is not a clean process. Anywhere that's not masked, just around the base of the tree, I'll be covering with like grass and what have you, mud texture, because I'm going to do a little bit of that. So yeah, leaving the masking on deliberately for this process until I finish painting the tree, and only then will I take it off. But yeah, just going to get this covered over. Doesn't take long to dry. Once I've got a good covering, I might do 2 coats, I'm not sure. But once I've got a good covering, then I'll pick my next colour. Don't know what that's going to be, but yeah, we're going to make this look like quite an old dead tree. And I did check, the eagle does sit in it. I may need to pin it, not sure. Cross that bridge when I get to it. But for now, just going to do this undercoat, and I'll bring you back on when this is dry and I'm doing the next colour, whatever that is. So yeah, it's not taking very long. Alright, so that's dried. It took 15 minutes actually, but it's been longer than that in my time, so I've been doing a bit of work. What I'm going to do now is come along. I've got various colours, greens, browns and greys, beiges. I'm just going to start to kind of put a little bit of colour onto this tree. Not so much dry brushing as trying to give lines, because that's what you see in trees, like this. And I'll just build the colours up over and over until I'm happy with how it looks. And then the tree will be done. Like I said before, trees are very largely grey and greens. Brown is not actually a colour you see much. It's more beiges and what have you. I did actually end up only doing 1 coat of the grey. I quite like the little bits where the reddy brown was showing through, because that's also a colour you get sometimes. So yeah, so I'll put some music on and just work away on different colours like this until I'm happy with it. Fortunately it dries very quickly, so it's very easy to do multiple coats and multiple layers. So yeah, I'll stick some music on, zoom in a bit so you can see more of what the tree is. There we are, and I'll be back. Oh, enjoy this music and I'll be back to talk when I've finished. Well, there we are. This is 12 months of me painting one bust a month, and I'm really pleased with how they've come out. So what I've done is I found myself a shelf, which I thought was going to be too long, but really isn't too long. And I've printed out the labels, which will go in front of each of the miniatures, just so I can see what they're called and what month they were from. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take the plastic off the shelf and probably going to stick these on and stick the labels on in front as well. Now I'm not sure whether I'm going to stain the wood or not. Probably won't. I'll probably just leave it how it is. And for now, this is going to go on a tool shelf just outside room 13. The workmen are doing really well upstairs in the roof space, and this will eventually be mounted above the door as you're coming down the stairs. But it's just going to have to be put somewhere for now, just so that it doesn't get damaged. So yeah, so I will get the plastic off, glue them in place, and show what it looks like when it's done. Right, so I've cut all those out. I just used the technique with a knife and with a safety ruler. Kick something. Once again, I can't recommend one of these highly enough. They're expensive, but they are brilliant. You've not got any chance of cutting yourself accidentally. They've got this non-slip surface. Highly recommended to pick up one of those safety rulers. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to glue the figures down first, and then once I've glued the figures down, then I will come along and I will absolutely line up all of these. And I'm not sure whether I'm going to line them up along the top, because some of them are, as you can see, double height. I'm not sure what looks best, so I just want to spend a little bit more time thinking about that. So that might be all right. But there's actually 12, obviously, because it's one a month, and this is a 120 centimetre 1200mm shelf. So I've got 10 centimetres for each of the busts, so that worked out really nice. Now they're not all the same width, so this one's obviously looks a little bit odd, but I am going to keep them to roughly where they're set now. And all I'm going to do for this is a little bit of PVA on the bottom and then set it in place like so. And that will be that. So I will get that done now. All of these across here, and I'll bring it back when that's finished. And I'm about to start sticking down the labels. But one thing I am going to do, having just not done it on that first one, is I'm going to place a little mark in front of each one, because I actually had this with a ruler, and I want to get it absolutely spot on, because I want it to look really nice. Because this has been one hell of a project. That's actually needs to rotate, but that's fine. That'll do. It's just a shame some of these are so... I could actually turn that round. That's an even better way of doing it. I'm going to do it like that. There we are, turn that round. So yes, I'm just going to put a little mark in front of each of these, so they're all lined up perfectly. And then I'll glue them in place. So I'll bring you back very shortly when they're all glued in, and I'm about to start doing the labels. So what I decided to do is put them all at the same distance from the front. So I've picked 8 centimetres, 80mm. So what I'm just doing is marking up each of these. I've already done a few marks. And I've decided that I'm going to basically glue this down with PVA. Now the best thing really to use for gluing paper to wood, and PVA is very good, but the best thing is really spray glue. But spray glue is messy, the sun's going down, it's getting cold, I don't want to have to carry this outside to do it, so it's going to have to be PVA. So what I've got is I've got my plate, my trusty plate. I'll put some PVA on that, and then I'll start to stick these down. So I will just get myself ready, grab a brush, and then bring it on for that as well. Alright, so a little bit of PVA on my plate. I've got my brush. So what I'll do is apply a very thin skim. The reason why this is difficult is because the paper, when it gets wet, will start to curl. So you need to be very careful when you're doing this. But there we are. First one in place. So I'm going to go along now, glue the rest on, and then that's probably going to be all I've got time for now. And then I have to decide if I'm going to seal over the top or not. I probably should, but yeah, let's get this done now. I'll bring you back for the next step if I decide if there's anything else, but otherwise this might just go straight on the wall because I'm really pleased with it. Right, so I had a look through my box of people, and I don't have any more of the school kits, so I guess we'll order that in and they'll have to be added on later. But I did have a nearly empty pack of the standing spectators. Unfortunately in 187, not 176, so a little bit little, but they'll be okay. So I've got particularly like this one, which is someone looking and scratching their head. So I thought that could quite nicely go here staring up at T-Rex. And then there's 3 more that I will also stick in around. So I'll get those stuck in shortly. I also have decided that I'm going to go for some of these trees for this. This is a park, so having trees that look like they're well coiffured or whatever is perfectly fine. They are dropping though, so I think I'm going to have to do something about that. I might need to spray some sealant on them. But I'm going to put one in here, and I'm going to put one back here, and then that's probably going to be good for my trees. So one here, but as you can see they really are dropping badly. So yeah, I need to do something about that. And the final thing that I'm about to do, which will finish this off, which is, or not finish it off, because I want to do the letters across here. But I've got this, I've bought this as a crystal clear water effect, which is basically silicon sealant polymer. And so I'm going to use that to do the water effect. So I think the first thing I'm going to need to do is work out how I'm going to seal these, because with them dropping so badly, that really isn't very satisfactory. So I'm going to have a quick think about that. I am considering putting a couple of these style trees in as well, but we'll see about that. So I'll get these miniatures stuck on and work out how I'm going to seal these trees, and I'll bring you back when I've done that. I'm about to plant them. And when I'm about to start doing my water effects, which is going to be really cool as well. Well, that was easier than I thought. So I found that I actually have another bottle of the matte scenic sealant from Luke, which I hadn't opened. And these normally clog up immediately for me and don't work, but this one is working. So what I'm going to be able to do is use that, which makes a very odd noise, so I'll stop when I'm recording. Going to be able to use that to seal all of this stuff in place. So I'll just get that done. Very liberal soaking. And then what I'll do is I'll make use of a clip to make the tripod. And then that can sit upright and dry. And here's the other one that I did. So I'll leave them to dry. That'll have to wait overnight now. And I'll plant them. Probably not tomorrow, because tomorrow's Christmas Eve. So probably that'll be a couple of days now until I get back to this. But at least they will now be sealed and stop dropping everywhere, hopefully. I can always do another squirt. I might check them in the morning and see and do another squirt. So while they're going, I'm going to stick the men down, little figures down. I'll get that done, and then I'll probably do the water effect now. So I'll bring it on for that in a few minutes on my time and the next clip for yours. Right, so the little figures are in. Now what I'm going to do is my water effects. So how I do that is I have in this pot here, I have some 100%, 99% alcohol, and I get myself a toothpick, and so you basically squirt it in the area you want it, like this, and then smooth it down with alcohol on a toothpick, and then add more if you need to. So I'll put what I think is going to be enough. You actually need more than you realise often. So there, that'll do that. There we are. And you can use your finger if you don't have toothpicks, but make sure you do dip your finger in the alcohol because it stops it from sticking to your finger, and as you can see, it allows you to make a really glass clean finish. But if you have got if you have got toothpicks, and obviously it means you don't get alcohol in your finger, you don't get that stinkiness. But actually I think I'm just going to do it with my finger. I might need a toothpick to go in there underneath the dinosaur. But it's as simple as that. And the good thing with this technique is, if you want to, I mean, I'm going to do a still lake, but if you want to do like waves or whatever, it works really, really well. Oh, that's a mistake. I have knocked that. Now what I'll do actually is place that in place and hold it in with the silicone, because obviously that's not stuck very well. So I do need some more silicone, so we'll get that squirted in. Keep this going. I'll put some music on and you can watch this progress. There we are. As I say, that takes very little time. So the key really is the alcohol. If you don't use the alcohol, it will stick and you will not get a nice clear finish because you'll get all of your oils from your fingers all over it. But with the alcohol, it acts as a good barrier, keeps your fingers nice and smooth, allows you to actually do the smoothing. So I've actually probably ended up with just a little bit too much of the silicone on this. But it's okay, that's really shiny, that gives a really nice effect. And now what I'm going to do is wait for those trees and stick them in place, and I've got to get my sign done as well for the entrance. Nearly finished. Alright, so that's done. I added a little bit more of the burnt umber, just because, or the raw umber, whichever it is, just because it was needed a little bit darkening up. But I'm very happy with that, so what we're going to do now is going to remove all of this masking, which will be easy until we get around here. And hopefully I'll find that I've not made any mistakes and I've not put any clay over it where I didn't want to. So there is a little bit there which has got a bit too much near the clay. So that's going to be a little bit of a pain to remove. Managed it, there we are. So as you can see, there's a little bit of a kind of grey patch all around it. But that's not to worry, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with some paint, with some PVA, and my sand, and I'm going to basically put some texture on. So I'm going to do it with PVA first rather than with paint, just so that any overspill doesn't cause too much of a problem on the rest of the wood. So I'll just grab my sand, which is, everything is always nicely to hand for me here. That's one of the things I really like about how I've laid out room 13. Don't have to go very far to get things I use a lot. So this is my #1 sifted sand I call, which is the finest sift. So the simple as this is, what we're going to do is come on just around the base like this, and I'm going to do it in small sections. So that's probably enough there. The aim being to cover up anywhere where I've got a spill or a bit of an overspread of clay colour. So with that done, and I'll just repeat this process, you come in, you scatter your sand on, you wait about that long, shake it off, and there you are. You have some soil effect. So I'll do that on the rest of that, let that dry, and then today being Christmas Eve, probably it will be a couple of days before I get a chance, but I might get some time tomorrow. Might do it with Rosie even, who knows. And I'll come in, and what I'll do is I'll put some colour on that, because I don't think I want it to be that sandy. I think I do want it to have a bit more of a different colour. I might go for the red brown that I use. But anyway, I'll get that done and leave it to dry because yeah, I don't want to paint it when it's wet. You need to seal it after it's dried the first time. You need to seal it again either with PVA if you like that sand colour, or with watered down, or with PVA mixed with a paint colour if you want to give it a colour. So yeah, really quick, really simple. Very nearly finished this build, which is cool. So for some reason I woke up today well before I needed to. It's always the way, isn't it, on a holiday, you wake up earlier. But I'm going to make the most of the time and I'm going to actually get these trees stuck in. So it's going to be a little bit of a fuss because these are quite thick trunks. But basically what I'm going to do is use my bradawl to make a hole. And these trees will not be very secure until this is actually settled down onto the layout, but it'll be better than nothing at least. So use the bradawl, then use the tree itself a bit as well, and you can see that that then is just going to stick in. And I did have my glue out, but I'm actually not going to glue that in just yet because I think I may want to do a little bit of work around it, just put a little bit of bark and things that fall. I always do, no matter how much you try to keep your tree, the area between the tree clean, there's always some fall of leaves and what have you. So I'm going to do a little bit of work around it, and then I can glue it in place later. So there we are. Oh, that didn't go in yet. Let me do a little bit more opening of the hole. There you go. And that's in. So now I need to do the deadfall around the base, which I'll probably do now. And I do want to get I need to clean these off as well, the things that fell off the trees. I do want to get my letters. I've decided I'm going to put the Lost Kingdom here, or the Lost World, whatever. Oh, like upright letters. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to make use of my new Cricut machine to do that, but I need to get that working, so that's going to be a nice little thing. So that's going to have to be done before this is totally finished. But in terms of what's actually on the board, I'm pretty happy with how that looks. I still haven't decided I'm going to put the other trees on, the evergreens. I might put a couple, maybe I should have put a couple here. So let's have a look at them now. These are much smaller trees. Actually, you know what? I'm going to dump those into the box. They are also dropping, so they're going to need to be sprayed before I put them on. But I think putting the tree there might not be a bad idea, just to give it a little bit more. And I might put another one there as well. Right, so yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to spray these, going to seal a couple of these, probably going to seal quite a lot of them because they'll need to be sealed anyway for use. And then when they're dried, what I'll do is I'll put a couple more around and I'll bring you back and show you what that looks like. So yeah, I'm really getting there. In terms of my lake, it's still a little, not quite gone off yet, so it's still a bit sticky. So I need to be a bit careful. There's a bit of dust gone onto that, so I'm going to pick that off. But other than that, we're really nearly done. So yeah, I'll wrap that clip up now, and I'll bring you back when I come to the next thing. So yeah, the next thing to do is going to be to add this. Oh, it's going to focus. Not sure. This forest ground cover from Luke's APS, as it was. Now Keep Gaming. Really simple to add. I've just pulled those trees out. I'm going to put a little bit of PVA around the base of the tree, like this. Try not to fill the hole up, and then take a little pinch and scatter it on. And that just is a nice little thing that you put around the base of trees. It works really well. And then we can put the tree back in. And and that looks a lot more natural. So I'll do that for the other one as well. And yeah, really are getting to the final finishing touches here. Well, it's Christmas Eve and I had a gift arrive, not from Santa but from myself. This is the latest order from Broadsword, from Ollie over at Broadsword Wargaming, and I'm very pleased it's arrived because it's a really cool order. So the first thing that's going to be in here is Elrond, the Master of Rivendell. So I've started my Rivendell Knights, and that is my that is obviously going to be my leader. I then have 2 more sets of dice, so the Dale and Rivendell nice dice sets, easy for me to say. I then have 10 more kilograms of modelling compound, so let's get that out of the way. And then in the bottom of the box, the big one, I have my Battle of Osgiliath starter set, which I'm not going to open now. I'm going to treat you to that in the next vlog, but I did just want to show you what had arrived. So there we are. And yes, I am wearing my crazy Christmas jumper to open this box. So yeah, really pleased with that. Elrond will be jumping right to the top of the list because I want to get that done alongside my Rivendell Knights, which are going well downstairs. So he'll be on the channel soon. No idea when I'll be working on the Battle of Osgiliath stuff, but I'll certainly do an unboxing for you, and you can look forward to that in the next week's vlog for January. For January 1st it will be. So yeah, there we are. Well, there we are. Happy Christmas again. I really hope you enjoyed that vlog. I'm, as you can tell, getting right back into it, back to form. Over an hour, first vlog for quite a while that's been over an hour, and I haven't really had any time this week. I've only done half a week, but it's just been a lot of fun getting back to my table, turning this camera on. I've wanted to again, and so I have. So that's always good. As I said at the beginning, I really hope that you have a wonderful day, friends and family, or wherever you are. Please, season's greetings and happy Christmas and whatever from me. Your support and views and comments have really kept me going this year, so please do pop one below if you can, if you made it this far. Particularly, I'm very impressed, particularly on Christmas Day, and thank you very much for watching. I'll wrap up by saying, as I always do and I still do on this Christmas Day, if any of you are directly or indirectly impacted by the horrible war in Ukraine, then my thoughts go out to you and anyone you know who may be in that horrible situation. So can't believe it's still going on. I really hope that it comes to an end, a positive end very, very soon. And to everyone, happy Christmas, and please do stay healthy, stay safe, and stay well.